This week's Parsha, Ki-Tetze, the Devar Torah brought to you by Bither Israel and Or Chadash. Welcome. This Parsha begins, Ki-Tetze lemilchama ala ivecha, when you go out to war against your enemies. And it continues to describe a situation of taking a captive. In the previous Parsha, there were also laws of going out to war. For those who tuned in last week, so we discussed how everything in the Torah can be and should be understood on a personal level. And we discussed at length how all of these parshas leading up to Rosh Hashanah are hints, instructions, parables as to how to approach the new year. So here we have, on a personal level, Ki-Tetze lemilchama ala ivecha, when you go out to war against your enemies. So who is the enemy on a personal level? What's called the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination. And as we approach the new year, and we want to change, we want to grow, we want to rectify, heal, fix, start new ventures. So the spiritual principle is that everything that God creates, there's an equal and opposite energy. This is actually a scientific principle. For every movement, for every energy, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if we want to go through all of these changes for the good, we should expect that there'll be resistance on a spiritual level. And that's what it means when you go to war against your enemy. The war here, we're interpreting it on a personal level, the war of making ourselves better people. And we all know so well how hard that is sometimes. That we all have all kinds of forces, psychological factors, emotional handicaps, things that we carry around with us, lots of baggage. And it's not so easy to change. But here, we're told if we're a spiritual warrior, then we can change. Because the verse continues that when you go to war against your enemy, it says, and God will put it in your hand. But if we expect it to be handed to us on a golden platter, we can't necessarily expect that. We have to do our part. We have something very interesting. This parsha is when you go out to war. And next week's parsha is when you come in to the land. Going out and coming in. And in Hasidic thought, based on Kabbalistic principles, there's a dynamic called Ratzo V'Shov. This is one of the phenomenon that Ezekiel the prophet saw in what's called Maaseh Merkavah, the workings of the chariot, where he saw angels running and returning. And this energy pervades every aspect of reality, from the run and return of our heartbeat, our blood pulsing in our veins, of our breath, of the tides, of every atom in the universe is pulsating with this run and return energy. So here, as we approach Rosh Hashanah, so we see also that what's being hinted to here is that on a deep level, there's this constant run and return that the soul needs to learn to navigate. Many times we call it the ups and downs of life, or the roller coaster of life. But as we get closer to Rosh Hashanah, and we become more and more aware of our mission in the world, or we should be thinking about it, our goals, our thoughts of how to accomplish what we want to accomplish, there's going to be this run and return. And we see that Avraham Avinu was, in a sense, the first that we learned this from. Because when God appears to him in one of his visions, it says, "Vayotze oto achutza." He had promised Avram that his seed will come through Sarah. Now, Avram and Sarah were very old then, and Avram was not so sure how this is going to play itself out. It's not that he doubted, but he didn't really understand how this is going to happen. So it says, "Vayotze oto achutza." He took him outside. He took him outside, and he showed him the stars and said, "If you can count the stars, that will be as many as your seed will be." And this word that he took him outside is the same root of our word here, "Ki-Tetze lemilchama." Same word, to go out. And Rashi tells us it's not just that God was taking him outside of his tent so he could see the stars, but he was also teaching how he had to go outside of his preconceived notion of what he could accomplish, to go outside of the mazalot, the astrological signs that Avram was an expert in. And that by going to war, like we're learning here, of going outside of oneself and pushing the envelope, then we can accomplish so much more than we ever imagined. So we should all have the blessing to conceive of great things, but also know that we're going to have to go out to war and make it happen. Thanks for watching this Devar Torah. If you like what you heard, which I hope you did, please come to our YouTube station, our website, our Facebook, our blog, our Twitter, and take advantage of a plethora of Torah, of audio classes, videos, poetry, stories, music, word and gematria search. You'll find a lot there, and please share this with your friends. www.thetrugmans.com